Welcome to the Social University podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and it's time for What's Up Wednesday, where we come to you live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. to talk about social media tips, tricks, and trends. Let's go ahead and get started. February, as you know, is the month for Valentine's Day, and we always talk about things we love, but today we're going to talk about things that we love to hate. Yes, things that we love to hate. So let's go ahead and get started. Basically, all the don'ts for small business owners, and then we're going to get into personal pet peeves at the end. So top 10. And these are in no particular order, not order of importance. These are just things that we just hate to see it. Number one, please stop buying followers or engagement. Fake followers provide no real value, and they damage your credibility, and they skew your analytics. So you do not know what is working versus what's not working. It wastes your money, it hurts your organic reach, and it risks account suspension or even deletion, because there are platforms who are so against it, they will, take you out of there. So stop doing that. We hate that. Number two, using every platform. Now, we cannot escape from most of every platform. You're never going to catch me on Snapchat ever, or Twitter. But most small business owners, it is almost impossible unless you hire it out to be on every single platform. You can't be all things to all people. It spreads your resources too thin across platforms. A lot of times where your audience is not even present. So pick, I would say, no more than 3 platforms. And a lot of businesses, one is great. If one works for you, you can function on 1. 2 to 3, that's awesome. But 7, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to me, and we do this every single day. So don't, and you'll have so much burnout if you try to be everything to everybody. I'm just saying. It seriously, it leads to inconsistent content, low engagement, wasted time, and, seriously wasted resources, because it takes money to do all that stuff. Number 3, don't ignore your analytics. If you're not tracking your performance, how do you know it's working? How do you know it's not working? It prevents, if you are not consistently checking your analytics, it prevents data-driven decisions, and it will hinder your optimization. And that's true on any platform. So you have to check your analytics to see what is working for your business. We don't like spam. I particularly, YouTube and TikTok, spammers are all over the place. You can block them. It's time consuming. We do. I block them as soon as I see them. But automated direct messaging, spam, no, thank you. When you send unsolicited DMs to potential customers, it comes across as spammy and too salesy. Relationships come first. And I equate this to, you never go into a networking event in person and take a handful of your cards and just throw them at people and then run away. That would be insane behavior, right? So why are you doing it digitally? You can't just throw information at people and hope they get it. You need to have that relationship first before you start soliciting. Now, is it possible to reach out to someone and ask for an introduction? Absolutely. You have to start somewhere, but you don't start out of the gate with, buy this thing from me, this person you don't know. It's crazy. It alienates potential customers, and it damages your brand reputation. And you can also be flagged as spam and have your account removed or suspended. That's not good for anybody. We hate low quality visuals, blurry images, watermarked images, poorly edited videos, videos where you can't hear the sound, generic stock photos. Oh, my least favorite, watermarked photos. Come on, what are you doing with a watermarked photo? And I know it's illegal, and if you're caught, you'll get financially penalized. So don't do it. It creates a tremendously negative impression of your brand and reduces engagement. When you're using bad images, especially if they're copyrighted or watermarked, it makes you look either ignorant of the situation or lazy, like you don't want to waste the time to find a picture that works for you. I'll just use this thing on Google. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not good. Not good. You don't want to exclusively focus on sales. When you are constantly pushing products or services without providing value or any kind of entertainment or any kind of content or building relationships, you're exhausting your audience. It turns off potential customers and it makes your brand seem overly promotional. And this is something we had extreme difficulty explaining, especially in the beginning of social media, 10 years ago, where people are just starting to embrace it. But in all honesty, there are still business owners who do this today. They want you to have a call to action in every single post, and it's just not realistic. It is exhausting for your audience. They don't want to be sold to every minute of every day. And there are different industries that are more guilty of this than others. But yeah, you gotta watch that. Number 7, ignoring negative feedback. Don't ignore negative feedback. If you delete or ignore it, comments, don't delete or ignore comments or reviews that are negative. You have to address them professionally. If you do not do that, it really hurts. It destroys any credibility you've established, because all of your clients can see it. It's public. And if you ignore it, it doesn't look good. It hurts customer trust. It creates a perception of dishonesty. It can escalate the situation. It is okay to address negative comments with facts. I appreciate that you feel we didn't respond correctly. This is what we did. Please let me know what else you need. One of the best things you can do in a negative situation, especially if you're guilty, is apologize and then get them off the public sector. Make it private so that it's easier to deal with the problem and everybody's not seeing your dirty laundry. But you can 100% acknowledge if it's your fault or not. You can also acknowledge if the customer is exaggerating. And more in this day and age, especially when people are making false accusations against small business owners, the small business owners are bringing the receipts. They're showing you, this is the video we have, or this is the comment that was left, or these are the direct messages. It's totally okay to do that in a courteous and professional way. It doesn't need to be a gotcha moment. Yeah. Number 8, using inconsistent branding. If you have different logos or different colors or different fonts on messaging across various platforms, it looks bad. Again, it makes you look like you don't care. It confuses your potential customers and it weakens your brand recognition because you need that consistency to build that brand. Failing to adapt to platform algorithms. Every platform is different and they react differently to different content. So sticking to outdated strategies that are no longer align with the platform's algorithms, like just about in this day and age, it's difficult to solely rely on organic reach, especially on Meta. You have to embrace the ads in order to grow. So you have to adjust to the algorithm. If you don't, it's going to limit your visibility. It's going to make it much harder to connect with your target audience. Now you're adjusting, maybe abandoning the platform that you were on and going to a platform that works better for you. I still think YouTube and TikTok are amazing. I will say that with my whole chest. Yeah. And number 10, you have to have a strategy. Not having a social media strategy is something we hate. Posting just random content with no clear gain or goals, it's leads to inconsistent results. It wastes time and resources and missed opportunities. It is incredibly important to remain consistent and have an overall message that you're driving to the end. So, can you be random successfully? Sure, but you also need to have a consistent plan. So, yeah. And then we have, those are the top 10 things that I would tell you that we hate and not to do. And then I have a couple of personal pet peeves. I talked to my team and we're pretty much on the same page. So let me share that with you too. I am not a fan of threads. I don't love the fact that they keep trying to tease it on my Instagram feed. Almost every single thread I've ever seen is also a tweet. So if I really want to go see it, I don't have to sign up for threads. I can just search on Twitter and find it pretty quickly. It's irritating to me. Don't show it to me if you're not going to show me the whole thing. Absolutely not. I do not like Twitter. I think it's a dumpster fire. Unless you're an athlete or a politician, Twitter is probably not a good space for you. And it takes so much activity to generate any kind of results. It can be a huge, huge waste of money and time if you're not doing it correctly. If you're not going to do 5 to 15 tweets a day, people aren't really going to see it. Now, Google will index those tweets. Does that help you? Sometimes it does. But if you're trying to allocate funding for different platforms, I wouldn't do that. Meta's customer service is terrible. It's non-existent. And they have the worst problem with hackers and spammers, and they are the least likely to do anything about it, which I find to be super frustrating. If you're going to make, and they make in the billions of dollars quarterly, probably now monthly, they make so much money. Can they not invest some of that in customer service technicians that can help with account recovery or any kind of issue? If you have a problem, it's almost impossible to get assistance. So I don't love Meta customer service a lot. Photoshop is just not what it used to be. Canva has become so robust and so cost effective that especially if you're a novice, if you're not a professional graphic designer, do you need Photoshop? Probably not. Canva's going to do most of it. And what Canva doesn't do, there are other apps that will do it. So you don't have to go in and learn all of the different Photoshop or Adobe, whatever you want to learn to make it work. Now, if you're a professional graphic designer and you do it all day, every day, do you need it? Probably so. But if that's not your thing, Canva's great. Linktree. Once upon a time, Linktree was a dream because that's what you needed to have to take advantage of multiple URLs in one URL. You don't have to do it that way anymore. You've got link in bio. You've got other different apps that you can use. But my favorite thing is use your own URL. Create your own landing page on your own website so that you're getting all that SEO from all the clicks that go through to your website, and you're not wasting it on a third-party app. I don't love Dropbox. Once upon a time, you had to use Dropbox to share videos, but it's confusing. It's very difficult to keyword search. And a lot of times when we get content from customers, they label it Social U because that's our name. Do you know how many files I have in Dropbox named Social U? It's crazy to me. And I can't keyword search it. I'm all about Google Drive. I'd much rather have Google Drive than Dropbox, and it's more cost effective anyway. Last minute edits, we want you to be happy with your service. But when that post is scheduled to go up at 10 o'clock and you're calling us at 10:05 with edits, yes, it happens every once in a while. Everybody makes mistakes, but when it's consistent, it's overwhelming. Along that line, if you are a small business and you are hosting an event and you don't share it with your marketing team or your social media team until, hey, it's the week before the event and we don't have enough registrants, I can't do anything to fix it now. We have to know enough time where we can plan ahead and create that event online and then promote that event online. Otherwise, it becomes really sticky. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your team up to date. And that would be aside from just events, any sale, promotion, you can't surprise your social media team with it and expect it to be successful. It just doesn't work that way. And again, because this is my least favorite thing ever, I'm going to say it again. The Facebook recovery process is brutal. We have over 100 requests right now for people to help recover their Facebook profile or page or Instagram account. And I can tell you it's near impossible. We have had in the last, I'd say 8 months, we've recovered 2 successfully, 2 out of 50. They just don't care. They've got a ton of people doing paid ads and they've got a ton of business and a billion monthly active users. They don't care. So if you have a problem, it continues to be just your problem and not their problem. So you have to be very cautious with Facebook. And the best way to be cautious is to not do it in the first place. So in order to prevent being hacked or spammed, several of the best things you can do is 2-factor verification and changing your password frequently and using a password that is 16 to 24 characters long, that's random, not a sentence, not a title, not your personal information like your pet's name or your birthday. It needs to be genuinely random to protect you the best that it can. So yeah, those are some of the things we love to hate. March, we're going to get into, where are we getting into in March? I think we're doing spring cleaning in March, but I'll have to go check. Yeah, I'll have to check on that. And then we'll post the topics for you guys at the end of this week. So thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions or need any assistance, you can always comment on our videos or send a direct message. And until next week, I am Karen Taradas with Social U, and I'm here to help. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social U. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.